real issues on this team. We've seen 2 preseason games. What would you consider a real issue on this team?
Okay, so a real issue is they don't stop the fucking run. That's a real issue. Okay?
And they're getting blown off the ball like D-tackle. You know what I mean?
They don't have – I mean, who's the anchor inside? You signed, Javon Hargrave. Hargrave's an awesome pass rusher. Outside of Eric Armstead, every one of their defensive tackles is a one-gap penetrator, rusher. They're not a two-gap, stop the run, DJ Jones. You're not moving them out of the A-gap. Givens is a one-gap penetrator. McGill, one-gap penetrator. I love what I saw yesterday from Marlon Davidson, one-gap penetrator. They don't stop the run. Now, they got great linebackers, and we haven't necessarily seen them all out there at the same time. But that, to me, is a major concern. Can the 49ers stop the run? If you can't stop the run, then it's like all you get is the run up the gut. So I don't think they ever replaced DJ Jones. They've been inside. Where was Kinlaw last night? I mean, they need Kinlaw to be an anchor against the run inside. He's the biggest, strongest two-gapper they have. And I know it's a one-gap, get-up-the-field scheme, and I love Hargrave as a pass rusher. I know it's a passing league. But guess what? If you run for 4 yards on first down and you run for 5 yards on second down, they're going to run on third down. And then what good is Javon Hargrave if they're just running it down your throat all day? The Niners need badly to either develop Kinlaw into a run stopper or find somebody who can plug the run inside outside of Eric Armstead. It's Armstead and not a lot else inside against the run. That's a major real issue.
And the thing with Hargraves, he's really not a run defender. And the way they kind of hid him in Philly on rundowns, they played a 5-man front. So it was harder to combination block him with 2. You understand? With like 2 blockers on a run play. Yep. Niners play a 4-man front that's very spread apart. Like, it's really easy to combo block D tackles on inside zone plays, and he's going to get pushed around. So I'm interested, how is Steve Wilks going to do with this wide 9? This was Robert Saleh and D'Amico Ryan's thing. They brought it in together 4 years ago. They did a great job of fitting the run, which not a lot of coaches do. Like, the wide 9 is a gimmick front that usually is very weak against the run because it's so spread out. D'Amico and Saleh did a great job fitting the run to it. Can Wilks? He's never coached this before. He has no background with the wide 9, and I think they hired him because he was open-minded to working with it. But this is new, and it's not easy.
Well, and what does Wilks like to do? Wilks likes these guys who take on the defensive line that takes on the blockers, and then he likes to have his fast linebackers shoot gaps and pressure the quarterback that way. Well, the Niner front is get up the field and rush with 4 and get it done with your front 4. Well, there's a guy who's a free agent who played for Wilks last year in Carolina, Matt Ioannidis, who played with the Washington Commanders. And to me, I would go sign Ioannidis. He's from Temple. He's a tough ass. You can't run at him. They need some tough interior run guy that they can depend on, who's not going to spin out of the A gap, who's not going to get moved in the run game. They need some anchor point in the middle of their defense, and Ioannidis, I think, would really help.
Great call. More real issues for me. Special teams. I mean, Ray's hurt. He'll come back eventually. He's a good player, but Jake Moody, man. They got rid of Robbie Gould and brought in Jake Moody so they could save $3 or $4 million. And they were talking hey, we understand it's a big step up and it's a lot of pressure, but we put him through the most pressurized workout ever. No, there's no way you can simulate real NFL pressure in a pre-draft workout, but they thought they did. And now he can't even seem to hold up to the pressure of a preseason game. He's under a lot of scrutiny. He's not on the Arizona Cardinals. He's on the San Francisco 49ers. He's replacing a potential Hall of Fame kicker, and he's expected to be lights out right now. He's not. It's really concerning.
To me, my message on this would be consistent. Be consistent. Yeah. If you're, why is Trey Lance not your 2 and Sam Darnold's likely your 2? Because Sam's more ready to play. He's the veteran. Then if you're so concerned about losing games, then why are you going with a super raw rookie with a strong leg? Why not go with a veteran? To to me, if you're going to sit Trey as number 3, then I think you got to have some interest in re-signing Robbie or going with Zane, or making sure that Jake's the right guy. And, here's the thing about this. I don't know how to do this because Jake makes all these kicks in practice. We're there. He makes them. He's not missing in practice. He's making the kicks in practice. But if he missed a PAT yesterday, and he missed 2 field goals the first game. And the game-winning field goal that he made, if it was 5 or 6 yards deeper, would have been a miss. So I'm very concerned. And Shanahan was asked about it. He's like, yeah, I'd like every kick to go high, straight down the middle. Okay, but you told us over here
but it's not.
You're going with Darnold and you're going with Purdy because you need an over Trey because you can't develop a young player because you don't have time for it because you're competing for a Super Bowl. But then kicker, one of the most vitally important, win-lose positions on the field, you're going to go with the super raw, high-end guy and think about the future there when you had Robbie Gould, who never missed a pressure kick in his life on the team, and now Zane Gonzalez is making 57-yarders in practice. I think the kicking thing is a major issue. I don't know about the return game. Jameson's drop yesterday, that muff was rare. He's got good hands. So does Bell. I'm a little worried about Mitch Shanknowski.
I'm telling you, man.
He had 2 bad shanks yesterday.
I'm a little nervous about that. Last thing, also the depth in the trenches. Which backup D lineman do you trust? Which backup O lineman do you trust? I mean, if they have perfect health all year, they should be fine in the trenches. I mean, maybe, but the minute John Feliciano needs to play, the minute Kevin Givens needs to play, like, what is going on? I don't know about this depth on the trenches.
Okay, so to me, one's a real issue, one's a fake issue. The O-line depth, I think, is kind of a fake issue because you can go an entire year sometimes with the same 5 or 6 O-linemen. I like Feliciano as an interior guy, but they don't have a backup tackle. Though I do like what I saw from
Feliciano didn't look good last night.
No,
yikes!
He got beat bad.
Yeah,
and he is slow, but I mean, they need a backup offensive tackle from some other organization. I don't know.
It's not Matt Pryor.
No, none of the guys. None of these guys can do it. Jalen Moore, no. Leroy Watson, no.
Gutierrez, not this year.
No.
Pryor, Il Manning,
no.
Probably not a tackle.
No. Il Manning played left tackle, by the way, yesterday.
He's a hell of a player, but
he's got 30.
He probably should play center. He might be a damn good center, but that's a project.
Prospect. But I mean, I'm not that concerned because Trent's Trent. I like Banks and Burford. Brendel was a Pro Bowl alternate. You do have a second center. I like McKivitz as a pass blocker. He's in the best shape of his life. He's ready to play more. I don't know if he's ready to be an every day, every week right tackle, but I think he's at a point in his career. He's ready to go. I'm not as concerned about the O-line because I like the starters. The D-line, on the other hand, you're not playing your starting D-line is not going to play the entire game. So Kerry Hyder to me looks old. Kinlaw is totally untrustworthy. Was Beal on the field last night?
I didn't see it. Alex
Barrett's been on the practice squad the last 2 years. T.Y. McGill is really trustworthy, but he's got to play in a rotation. Austin Bryant shows me very little. Kalia Davis has got a bad knee. Spencer Wagey's more of a practice squad guy. Marlon Davidson is nice, but Speaks is not NFL. Hamilton and Lilly, those are camp bodies as far as I'm concerned. They badly need another defensive end. I would go sign Jason Pierre-Paul, Melvin Ingram, Carlos Dunlap, somebody like that. And I would be looking at the cut down at whoever Dallas cuts. Dallas has got 9 defensive ends that are all pretty good. They will bring in at least 2 more defensive linemen from outside before they pare this thing down to 53. That'll be my prediction because I don't see the guys there, and there's just not enough bodies. Drake, you're asking Drake to go from he didn't even play in the last 6 weeks of the season to now he's your starter opposite Nick Bosa. And is Bosa going to get signed today or tomorrow and get in here? Cleveland Farrell, I like a little bit, but not as an every down guy. I love what Beal flashes, Grant, but I don't see any consistency there. And Barrett, when Alex Barrett looks like one of your better defensive ends, and he's been firmly on the practice squad the last 2 years, you've lost depth, and you need depth there. So I'm very concerned. To me, this is a primary issue because these guys are all going to play snaps, a lot of them.
All right, let me come back to the offensive line because you just expressed a lot of confidence and then moved right on to talk D-line for like 10 minutes. Can we come back to the offense? I admire your confidence. Someone has to have it because it's not me. Trent Williams, phenomenal. Aaron Banks, solid starter. Jake Brendel, solid starter. Spencer Burford could be, hasn't proven it yet. He was a part-time player last year who I think has a lot to prove still. And Colton McKivitz could be, hasn't proven it yet. I think 2/5 of this offensive line have a whole lot to prove. And if 2/5 of this offensive line isn't good enough, they got a big problem. Because I don't like the backups. The solution isn't just, well, throw John Feliciano at right guard. No, absolutely not. Or if they have to play both of them like they did with Brunskill and Burford last year, that's not what you want either. So they need Burford and McKivitz to be at least solid. And they're saying, trust us. No one believed in Brendo last year. We believe in these guys. Trust. Okay, fine. But you got to be right because there's no plan B at either spot.
Yeah, I mean,
got to be right.
One thing is they do have a top-tier O-line coach. I like Forster.
No doubt.
How you feel about Forster. Burford clearly has done the work this offseason. I mean, he is prototypical size, strength. He's done the work. He's smart as hell. I really like Burford as a prospect.
No doubt.
McKivitz,
but that doesn't mean he's going to be good.
McKivitz,
you could do everything right and not be good.
To me, in an ideal world, Feliciano, McKivitz, and Ilm Manning would be your backups, and you would have a big-time mover
right tackle.
Right tackle. Instead, you've got more of a serviceable technician, pass protector. He's not going to really kick people out in the run game. I'm a little concerned because they haven't run the ball real well. The big concern too is that the Niners don't stop the run right now, and they're not necessarily running it well right now. So that's a concern a little bit about McKivitz as a run blocker. But overall, go look at the offensive lines around the league and then come back and tell me you don't like this line. Because this line is actually a top-tier line compared to – maybe not compared to Philly last year, but compared to 90% of the teams in the league.
It's not a top-tier line. We have we have one excellent offensive lineman, two solid ones, and two question marks. I mean, I disagree with you. But I respect you.
Philly's got Tyler Steen. You know, he's a rookie from Alabama that they're going to try to plug in on their offensive line.
Cole McKivitz isn't starting for Philly, for Dallas. Cole McKivitz isn't starting for any other contender in the league. The Niners are trying to tell us that Colton's a solid starter. Like, I have my questions on that one. All right, his numbers at tackle have been bad. We'll see. Brother Bob.
I like him as a pass protector. I'm a little concerned again about as a run blocker.